So often you hear people talk about living an authentic life, be your authentic self, be you, do you. And I want to talk about what that actually means because so often it's the case that we understand that to some degree, but we don't know how to do it. We don't know how to make it happen, especially in a culture that is so much about, what everybody else is doing, keeping up with the Joneses. Even in a culture where, ironically, now in the 21st century, it's pretty common for people to have different color hair and to have tattoos and body art and piercings and things. Back when I was in college in the 80s, that was kind of a big deal to actually be doing those things. You really stood out from the crowd. And when you did that, people who had shaved heads or people who had a really unique hairstyle, it was a thing to point out. So that stood out in a way that it doesn't right now because it's very normal now, very mainstream for people to have that kind of personal customization to their look. But what I want to talk about is how you can still stand out from the crowd and actually be your authentic self. And that goes really beyond your personal style. It's your whole brand. That's personality quirks, it's how you respond to people, your worldview, all of that put together makes up your authentic self. And what makes it authentic really is that it really is something that's inside of you. So it is to say that you're not putting on false airs. You're not putting on someone else's hairdo because it looks cool, or you're not going out and taking a certain job because you feel like that's what your family members or your community expect you to do. Go to college and get that degree and then go and join this organization or this company. If that's a life that you're living, let me tell you here, life is short. And I've learned kind of the hard way that making decisions like that really lead to having a very unhappy life experience. And so the earlier you can learn to do the kinds of things that really feed your spirit, to go after the things that you are the most passionate about, to live a life that's in alignment with what you truly value and what's important to you, the much better your life is going to be. I know I'm weird. I don't fit in anybody's box. I never have. I doubt that I ever will. But it's okay. And maybe you feel that way too. And I'm here to say, you don't need the box. Other people need the box. That's how they make sense of the world. They need categories. So let them have their boxes, but just because they have them doesn't mean that you have to fit in to one that you don't. So when you hear people talking about be you, do you, it's more than just a catchphrase. It really is something to that. And I'm here to say that the earlier you can learn that and start to put that into practice, the much better things will be for you and for everyone around you, because people will notice that you're happier. Your friends will be celebrating that there's something about you that is beautiful because you'll be shining. You'll be walking a walk that is a walk that you really want to be walking. People can tell the difference between the choices that you make that you really want to make, even when you make mistakes. You own them. And I would advise that you actually take some time, some quiet time with yourself to really think about what it is that really does make you unique. If you remove the ego and you just allow yourself to just freely be in that place of awareness and exploration about what it is that really brings you joy, what it is that really drives your passion, you'll be surprised at the kinds of things that come up that you didn't maybe expect would be there. And sometimes it's good to even just write that down and then just reflect on that list. Wow, I didn't really realize that was so important to me. Maybe generate a list of everything that you feel like is a priority for you in your life right now. Not what has been in the past, but right now, right here, today, right now. Look at that list. And then look at your life and see just how much how you move in the world seems to be or not to be in alignment supporting what it is that you wrote in that list. And if that list is really off, then you really got to do some things to get there, because the time is now. Tomorrow, as I always say, is not promised. And so if there are things that you need to do to shift gears, to get into going in the direction that it is that you want and need to be in, and you need that outside to look like that, you may have some work to do. There's so much more I could say about this, but the bottom line is this. You have one life. One life. I know I just held up 2 fingers, but you have one life. And that one life belongs to you. No matter who else you have in your life, they're there to support you. And you can support them too, but you have one life, one body, one chance to get this thing right. So here's the deal. Whatever it is that is unique about you, celebrate that. Own it. Own your weirdness. If you're weird, knock it out. Be the baddest, coolest, weirdest, whatever gender person that you can be. No one should ever make you feel shame about what it is that you feel inside of you or how you express it. So if it's been a challenge for you up to this point, maybe one thing you can do differently in 2019 and moving forward is to strip yourself of that shame and hold your head up high and allow yourself and others to really experience what the world is like when you really go out and actually be your authentic self.